Everyone. So today we are going to talk about Python. While we are writing the Python code, so we have to deal with a lot of errors, and we are using the exception handling for that matter. So sometime when we write any code, so we get certain kind of error. Let's say the syntax error, name error, indentation error. So many errors are there. So we can handle those errors in Python, and we call that part exception handling, or we can call it like using try and except you can handle your errors. So let's say in a very basic way, let's say I'm writing something. Let me insert a cell here. For example, there is one variable which is not defined, and I simply print that variable. So it will throw an error, and that error is name error, because we have not defined a as a variable. So this is going to throw me an error. uh, you know uh, it doesn't seems good if we showcase this type of the programming error. What we can do, we can put that into a specific message. So rather than displaying those errors, we can display message to the end user. So how we can cover this particular error? Let me insert one more cell below. We can use try except for that matter. So let's say in try block, I have put it my code where we may have certain kind of error. So let's say here this one is print a, and in except block I'm going to use my display message, that in case I have this error, what message I want to display. So let me scroll it a bit down. So I'm going to display that this variable is not defined, let's say. So this is the message that I'm going to display in case I have this error. So previously I have directly put it print a, and a was not defined. So it has given me a name error. But rather than writing my code in that way, this is a good practice to put try except block or do the error handling wherever we required. So what I did, there are two space that I used here. One is the try, other is the except. So try is the one in which we put our code where we may have certain kind of errors. It can be any error, name error, zero division error, value error. It can be any kind of error. And into the except block, I have put it, let's say in case that error occurred, so I'm going to display that passage. And you can see the difference that previously it was not looking that much good, like it was like kind of a system error or application error, doesn't look good to the end user. But if we display a message like this, so it looks better than the previous approach. And for example, let's say that might be that error does not occur, that we have already defined the error. Let me put it here. For example, let's say I have given the value of a, and once I run it, so it will directly print that value of a. That's it. It is not going to execute except for me. But in case I don't have that value, let me comment that part and I'll run it again. Okay, sorry, let me give it a different name. I have already assigned that value. So this time, because there was the name error, and in the try block in this line of code, we have put it b, print b, and b variable was not defined, so it has become an error. So it has raised this exception whatever we have written into the except block. So this variable is not defined. So it's a good practice to put try except, and first we write our code. It's not like that whenever you write the code initially, you put try except as well to handle your errors. So initially you start writing code and you just think around it, like where we can have error, in which situation it may raise what type of error. Then slowly and gradually we do the error handling. So let me tell you the different syntax, or you can say the code that we can use to do the error handling. One is the try. Try is the block in which we put our code where we can have a chance of errors, where we may generate a kind of a error. And it can be multiple line of code as well. It's not like us only in single line you can put try and you can use try. And then we go to the except block. Except block is the one where we handle those errors. Whatever the display message that you want to showcase, you can put those into the except block. And then we have else. Let's say there is no exception and you want to run that code, you can put that into the else. And we have finally block as well. Finally is the one, regardless the exception, whether exception occurred or not, whatever you put into the finally, this is going to be executed. So finally is the one. We have some other way to do that as well, but I'm trying to make it very simple so that you can understand the use of try, except, finally, else, and all. And if you talk about the errors, you initially, once you start writing code and doing you create some basic programs and all, so you feel like that so many different type of errors you face on daily basis. So slowly and gradually you try to understand where in your code you may have a different kind of error, and then you handle that particular error. So we call that part error handling, like that. So the example that I have put it here, it was name error, and you have put it try and accept into that particular part of code, and this way you have handled it. So sometimes we define the name of error as well. So you just copy and paste that error, and you don't do it manually. I mean, don't write it without copy paste. So once you write it, so let's say if in any case, let's say name error occurs, so this is going to be printed. So you run it and you will be having this. In case you don't define the name of the error, and whatever you put into the except block, that part is going to be executed. Let's take another example. For example, here, we are taking input from the end user, and we are expecting that this input should be integer, because we have put it into function outside the input. So let's say you pass any integer value, it works perfectly fine. But let's say you pass any character value into this, any character value, and you run it, so it raised a value error. So this time we can see that might be user can pass character value if we have put it int outside the input. So we just need to handle that part of code, do the error handling to that part of code. So how we are going to do it? We simply put that line of code into the try block, and into the except we pass our message. So whatever the message you want to put, so once you run it, let's say you pass numeric value, it will work perfectly fine. It will print that value. And if you run it and you pass any character value, so it will raise error. But once that error has been raised, we handle that into the except block. So whatever we have put it into the except block, this is going to be displayed here. Please enter integer value. And as I said that we can give the name of the errors as well. Just go a bit down. Previously when we use that and it was a value error, so we just copy that error and we paste that here. So whenever we get the value error, this message is going to be displayed. And we can use multiple, I mean, uh, uh, except we can use multiple except as well, because in same line of code we may have different error. So we can use multiple except for one block as well. For example, here you see that if we divide something with 0, so it gives a 0 division error. So I have put it one sample code here, and here I have put it 3 variables. One is the marks total and grade percentage. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the entry of the marks from the end user. One marks is the total obtained marks, whatever the student obtains, and the total is the overall marks. And then I have calculated the grade percentage, marks divided by total into 100. So these are the 3 values that I'm getting here. And there are possibility to get the errors here. One is the value error. Let's say user pass any character value into marks in total, we may have a value error. So we have put it value error, that handling we did for the value error part. And the other, it may have a 0 division error. So in these try block, we can have 2 different type of errors. So we may have more than 2 as well, but I have put it just a sample of two sample errors. One is the value error and the other is the 0 division error. So I have distinguished, let's say if it's a value error, this message is going to be displayed. And if it is a 0 division error, this message is going to be displayed. Otherwise, I'm going to print the grade percentage. So let me run it here. For example, you pass any marks, let's say 400, and the total marks, let's say 500, and this is the total percentage value that we get. So this time it was working perfectly fine. There was no error. For example, I pass any character value to this, and it has stopped and it has raised the error, and the error was the value error, and into that value error, whatever I have put it, please enter correct value for marks. So this time it has raised this error. Let's say, let me run it again. For example, let's say 200, and then total marks I have put it 0, and this time it is going to be raised a 0 division error. So it has raised, exception raised, and the exception is 0 division error. So this is how we can handle our errors rather than showcasing or any application error or kind of a programming error. We just put that into the accept block and we run it. So I hope it's clear to you that how we can use try and accept. So this is how we do it. And let me give you the example of finally as well. For example, here I have put a variable and I'm going to print it, but that variable is not defined. So this time my exception will occur. And finally is this statement, as I said, that this is going to be executed, whether you put that or not. Because B was not defined. So let's say if I pass B equals to 5, this time I have given value to this. You see that exception was not raised because we have passed the value of B variable, but finally has been executed, because finally is the one this is going to be executed whether the exception raised or not. This is mandatory. So sometime we don't use finally while doing the error handling, but try except is the one that we regularly use to make our code more convenient for the end user to use it, or make it more robust a code. So this is how we use try and accept. So I hope it's clear to you that try block is the one in which we write a code where we may have a different kind of errors, and accept is the one in which we handle those errors, and whatever the message we want to display, we can put that into the accept. Rather, you have two cases to use the accept. One is you simply pass the name of the error and give the message, and in case you don't pass the name of the error, so it whatever the error is going to be raised into the try block, that is going to display that whatever the message you have put it into the accept. And finally is the one which is going to be executed. It doesn't matter that whether your exception raised or not. So this is how we use it. So this is a suggestion for you. Next time whenever you write a very basic code and you feel like that we may have error in those line of code, so first you write the code, the basic code, the concept, whatever you want to write, and then try to do the error handling to the next phase. So this is how we regularly does. Thank you so much. That's it for today. I'll come up with some more interesting stuff into the next video.